Okay, welcome back. I've gotten my nap. So, for any of you watching on YouTube, nothing's changed, but I did my overview and I did my neutral review before I went to sleep last night. So, I'm waking up and I'm doing this right now. Same shirt because I don't have to do anything today. I'll shower later. Anyways, let's take a look here. So, we're on Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter here, they are a class that usually, they get like very overpowered stuff. You go back through like any expansion, Demon Hunter gets some of the most broken stuff of all time. We go back here, just Madness at Darkmoon Fair. And what do they get? They get here, Expendable Performers, like one of the most broken cards of all time. We can go back further. We can go back to Skullomance. What did Demon Hunters get in Skullomance? Oh, they got Cycle of Hatred, one of the most broken cards of all time. Ancient Voidhound, like absurdly powerful late game card. Marrow Slicer, uh, like you can see Ace Hunter Kreen, just like a ton of really powerful cards. And of course, we can go back to Ashes of Outland. And what do they have here? Oh, what do you know? Coilfang Warlord, they have that. They have Priestess of Fury, they have that. They have Warglaives of Aznov, which have been kind of fixed. That's still around. Skull Gul'dan before it got nerfed. So traditionally, Demon Hunters always get insane stuff. And here in Forged in the Barrens, they really did not get insane stuff. I would actually say they got probably one of the worst sets of all the classes. Like I don't think there's like one I would say good card. There's like one card I would say that's a 4-star card, and everything else is much worse. Now, what they did get, I'm going to go over here to core very quickly. A new card in core, which I'm highlighting just because of how powerful this is. Illidari Inquisitor. 8 mana, 8/8 rush. After your hero attacks an enemy, this attacks it too. So, King Crush, that is 9 mana, 8/8 that has charge. This, when you combine it with the Demon Hero power, the Demon Hunter Hero power, is 9 mana, 8/8, attack an enemy minion if you want, and then if your hero power goes face, you can attack face. So you see, and you can just play it on 8/8 as a rush. And if it lives one turn and your hero can attack face, it has Wind Fury to go face on an 8/8. So yeah, this is like this card more than anything. This is going to be like the one completely busted Demon Hunter card that you can't really play around. Like the way to play around this is you have taunts up pretty much every turn from turn 8 on. Like that's all you do. And that doesn't even work because you need 2 taunts. Because this will kill the first taunt, and then the Demon Hunter hero powers you in the face, and then you go and then it hits you in the face again. So you can't even play around it in terms of taunt. That's why it's like one of the most busted cards ever. I think it's like a 120 or like a 130. This would be like a 6-star borderline. It doesn't. It's easily a 6-star card. It's borderline 7 stars just because this is at the point where it is impossible to play around it. All right, but I get this. So that's the one thing you have to worry about. But for the actual Forged in the Barrens set, the cards are extremely mediocre for them. So an example here. We'll start with this one. Okay, Razorboard. 2 mana, 2/2, Deathrattle. Summon a Deathrattle minion that costs 3 or less from your hand. So this seems really good. The problem, though, is that we have seen a card like this before. I'm going to, 1 second here. I'm going to open up a new tab just so I can keep my stats here. So if we go to Wild, we go, I'm just up, Piloted, Sparse Data, Reaper. Here, Piloted Reaper. We have seen this card before. 4 mana, 4/3, Deathrattle, summon a random minion from your hand that costs 2 or less. So I have a question. Which condition do you think is easier to trigger? Summon a Deathrattle minion that costs 3 or less, or summon a minion that costs 2 or less. This is by far the easier condition to trigger, right? And the problem is that this card was complete garbage in Arena. This was like one of the like worst cards you could get in Arena. Okay, and over here, this is like the current meta. So if we go to Demon Hunter, okay, I had it on 4 for something else. Okay, and we go 0, 1, 2, 3, and we set up for mechanics. Deathrattle. No Deathrattle. Did I forget? Oh, sorry, spell. I had spell on. All right. So mechanics, Deathrattle. There's 20 cards that you can pull from this. A couple of them. So like, what cards do you really want to pull from this? Okay, and minions here. Okay, so Mistress of Mixtures, sure. Hench Clan Hogsteed, I guess. Loot Hoarder, Nerubian Egg if you don't have buffs, that's bad. Razor Boar, like Razor Boar, gonna pull Razor Boar. Okay, Rustworn Initiate, that's good. Showstopper, that's okay. Sneaky Linkwit, that's good. Depth's Head Cultist, that's going to be okay. Elec, that's okay. Beastmaster, if you get it. But you see, there's so few cards that this is going to pull. So ultimately, this is I would say this is a 0-star card for me. I just do not think that you are going to have the. I just don't think you're going to have the cards necessary to pull this off. All right, next one over here. Vile Call. Summon two demons with lifesteal. So for this, we've seen summon 2/2/2s before. We've seen it with landscaping. We've seen it with like other cards. So with Vile Call, like they have lifesteal, so that is better than a normal card. So yeah, that's going to be probably a high 2, low 3-star card. All right, not much to say there. Fury, 1 mana, give your hero +2 attack this turn. Upgrades when you have 5 mana. So number 1, and it upgrades to +3 and +4. So if we compare this to Twin Slice is just significantly better. All right. Twin Slice does the same thing, and you get the extra card, so you can immediately use the mana. So like here, Fury rank 2, yeah, it's only one card. It's only one card, and it gives you hero +3 attack. I would much rather have 2 cards that can give me +4 attack than one card that gives me +2 attack. Like this is a worse claw in a class that values their own health. So yeah, I'm ultimately like, even when you get to rank 3 here, the 1 mana discount you get on Twin Slice is not going to matter. So I'm using that Twin Slice as a comparison. It's a worse Twin Slice. So overall, taking a look at this card, I don't think it's good. I think it's pickable. I think it's a 1-star card, but this is not a good card. All right, Tusk Piercer. 1 mana, 1/2 weapon, Deathrattle, summon a Deathrattle minion. All right. So 1 mana, 1/2 weapons, they're mediocre. You really don't want them. The effect here, sorry, not summon, draw a Deathrattle minion. So draw a Deathrattle minion. We've had 1 mana discover a card things before. So, and those are usually about high 2, low 3. The weapon here really does not do that much, and it kind of actually delays you from being able to get that card that, like, you don't want this. You want the Deathrattle, and you have to wait 2 turns to get that Deathrattle. So overall, I think it's decent. I think it's a low 3-star card, but I don't think it's really all that great. Okay, Deathspeaker Blackthorn. Summon 3 Deathrattle minions that cost 5 or less from your deck. All right, again, we can go back over here to HS Replay, and we can move this up to 4 and 5. So 5 mana Deathrattle minions. Okay, what would you have? Recurring Villain, Burning Blade Acolyte, those are good. Bomb Squad, you don't want to summon that. That's not Deathrattle. That's not Deathrattle. That's a Deathrattle. That's a Deathrattle. That's a Deathrattle. That's a Deathrattle. Okay, so you got some good 4s and 5s here that you would want to summon from your deck, and because it's summoned from your deck, that's actually pretty decent. But again, the point is there's not really all that many great Deathrattles in Arena. So like it's probably going to be above value. It's like you need probably like 4 mana worth of value, and you're probably going to get that. Sometimes you won't. So I'm really not. The way I looked at it when I mapped it out is before you're going to get about 2.4 Deathrattle minions per deck. So that's using HS replay numbers. That's using approximations of how many of each minion you get per deck. So you'll get 2.4 per deck. You're almost certainly on turn 7 going to draw one of those before this happens. So you're going to get 1 to 1.5 Deathrattle minions per deck. So, and again, most of them are going to probably be 2 and 3. Maybe there's a 4 in there, but you'll probably get a 2 mana one or a 3 mana one. So it's a 7-drop that has a condition that gets worse the game goes on, that even on curve is not likely to work. Now, the more Deathrattles you get, the better it goes. But I would say that this, I'm going 0 stars on this. I don't think it's going to work in, like, I think it can work in the right decks, but I don't think you're going to get the right decks. Like, if it had 6, if it could pull Smug Senior, if it could pull Claw Machine, if it could pull Scribe or Skystalker, this thing would be completely busted. That it's only 5 and that there's so few good that cost 5 or more, just, yeah, I really don't get why this isn't 6. All right. Eventual Spirit, 4 mana, 4/4. Outcast, draw 2 Death Rattle minions. All right. So this is kind of like the opposite thing here. So as I said, the 7 mana one, the means summon and play. But here you have 4 mana 4/4, which by itself is a significantly better body. And Outcast, draw 2 Death Rattle minions. So you can play this a lot earlier, and even if you draw 1 with this is a really good card. Drawing 1 with this is good, and drawing 2 is great. So the way I look at it is I compare it to Skull of Gul'dan. Skull of Gul'dan is 6 mana. Outcast, draw 3 minions, and then Outcast reduce their cost by 3. So you get theoretically a 6 mana, draw 3 cards, and you get a 9 mana discount. So here, this is 4 mana, effectively draw 3 cards, and one of them is a 0 mana. It's a 0 mana 4/4 that you can immediately play. All right, trying to specify this. So you play it like that, and I think you come up, you're already plus 6 mana, and then you get probably better cards with the Death Rattles than you would for other things. So I think this is actually comparable to Skull of Gul'dan. So overall, for this card, I would say it's probably like a 4-star card, just because of how powerful this effect can be, and that it can go off early, and that even if you don't hit the perfect outcome, it's still a playable card and a good card. Sigil Silence. At the start of your next turn, silence all enemy minions. All right, deal here. Silence, you want silence immediately. You do not want silence late. Like, you don't want silence on a delay because your opponents can deal with it. That's why the Showstopper, the 3/2 with Death Rattle Silence all minions, was a mediocre card. It's like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything more than a 3/2. So here, what this does do is, if you have a, whatchamacallit, if you have damage from hand, and Demon Hunter still kind of has damage from hand, you can play this to set up so that you can guarantee have your damage from hand go face the next turn. That's like the one situation where this is where I would say this is worth it. Overall, I think like you're Demon Hunter. You don't want to take a ton of damage just to get off this effect. So I would say it's a 0-star card. Sigil of Flames. At the start of your next turn, deal 3 damage to all minions. This would be a lot better if it was just enemy minions, but the fact that it's your own minions, all minions, means that like you can't really play things with this. Number one, you're Demon Hunter. You want to play a lower curve than everyone else. Number two, so what this means is anything you play after this is going to get damaged by that, and your opponent can set up the trades. So, and again, your opponent gets to play around it as well. Imprisoned Observer, the 3 mana 4/5 for mage that when it awoke from dormant dealt 2 to everything. 2 to all enemy minions. That was a card that's useful because even number one, you kind of have to play around it, and then there's still a 3 mana 4/5 that you have to deal with. This, there's no body attached. There's like, it's similar to the Sigil of Silence, where the idea is that you clear the board and it gives you initiative. So overall, I think it's better. I definitely think it's better because it does something. I think it's a 2-star card, but I don't think this is like all that good. Like, I would be a good card. Doomsayer would be similar to this effect, and I think Doomsayer eating 7 damage at the very least would be is a lot better. Razorfang Beastmaster Deathrattle. Summon a Deathrattle minion that costs 4 or less from your hand. So there are a lot more powerful 4 mana Death Rattles in the game. So like compared to 3 mana Death Rattles, we go back over here. All right, give it 5s. So there are some good 4 mana Death Rattles in the game, like here, the Darkspear Berserker, Disguised Wanderer, Fishy Flyer, Renowned Performers. These are good 4 mana Death Rattle minions that you're going to draft. So compared to the Razorboar, which doesn't really do anything because there's not really any good Death Rattle minions, this might actually do something. And a 3/3 on 3 is significantly better than a 2/2 on 2. So, sorry. Okay, so overall, is this a good card? I still think it's a 2-star card. I don't think it's going, like, it might, I think it's like a high 1 or a low 2-star card, because Berserker might be enough to push it over, but you kind of don't want that as a Demon Hunter. Renowned Performers, like if you summon it from hand, like it's already got Rush, you're really not gaining all that much from it. Same thing, Fishy Flyer, it's already got Rush, so like getting it out for 0 is good, but it's not Like getting a Berserker out for 0 is a big deal. Getting a Fishy Flyer or Renowned Performers that already have Rush out is a much less of a deal. Getting a Wanderer out is okay because it's not really a threat on its own. So yeah, I would say high 1, low 2-star card here for the Razorfen Beastmaster. Curtis Ashfallen Battlecry. Attack the left and right most enemy minions. Outcast immune this turn. There was a card which I'm blanking on at the moment. It was a 4-mana 5/3 that had Rush and immune on it. Illidari Fellblade. So Illidari Fellblade was a really, really good card. And what would you say is better? 5 mana to one thing, 5 damage to one thing, or 3 damage to 2 things that you can kind of control. And I would say the second one is better. 3/4 versus a 5/3, they're similar. The battle cry here. So yeah, the battle cry here, as I said, yeah, I think this is a good card. I think this is definitely a 5-star card, just because of how strong the effect is. All right, and that is it for Demon Hunter. When I come back, next one is going to be Druid. So I will see you guys then.